All right, so for this game, looks like we have what is essentially just a straight sequencing game, so we'll set it up accordingly. We've got 6 positions to work with, and we've got 6 people to put into those positions. We've got M, R, S, T, U, and W. And it's worth noting that there's nothing out of the ordinary here, right? Everybody goes exactly once, one at a time and whatnot, so we can go straight into the rules. So the first rule tells us that S has to go immediately before one of T or U. So I guess we can say something like S is going to have to go right before a TU kind of block. Next, we are told that U has to go before both R and W. So there's a bit of interplay there, right? So U is before R and W, but it's kind of hard to pin it, because if this is an ST block, then this would be entirely independent. But if this is an SU block, then R and W would have to follow. But I guess that's kind of loose. Let's keep going. Either T or W have to go immediately before M. So similar kind of rule, but the other way. M has to go immediately after one of T or W. And again, if this is a W, then U would have to go prior. And if this is a T, then I guess it's not as significant, because it could be STM, so ST and then TM. But yeah, it's kind of hard to put your finger on what we can do with this. So you know what, let's take a look at the questions. Question number 19, our standard exclusion question, we start by the original text. So the first rule was that we have to have an S with a T or U following immediately. So A looks good, B looks good, C looks good, D does not. We do not have a T or a U following the S, so D is out. And E has an ST block, so we're good. Next, U is before R and W. So A is already out since R is before the U. That's not going to work. B has R and W after the U, so that's fine. C has U before both. Answer choice E has U after both. That doesn't work. We can get rid of answer choice E. Lastly, one of T or W will have to go right before M. So between answer choices B and C, answer choice B has M right after W, which is fine. Answer choice C has M after R. That doesn't work. So we can get rid of answer choice C. And that leaves us with B as the best answer for question number 19. As usual, let's just quickly plug that into the board. What we get is STU followed by RWM. Next, we have question number 20, which says, if T goes first, well, let's work this out. If we have T going first, what does that tell us? Well, first of all, I suppose ST is not going to work anymore, is it? So it's going to have to be an SU block at the very least. And that's going to be followed by R and W in some capacity. Now I guess the M could still go, it could be a TM block, or it could be a WM block still. So we're a little bit flexible on that. So you know what, let's see, maybe we can do with what we have. The question asks, which of the following could be true? Answer choice A, could we have R going second? And no, that's definitely out of the question. R cannot go second since it has to go after the SU block. Answer choice B, can we have W going third? And no, same kind of issue. If W goes third, it still has to have the SU before it, and there's no way to fit SU before the third position. So that's not going to work. Can we have S going into 4? And no, similar issue. If S is in 4, you'll have to have U in 5, and then you don't have room for both R and W to follow, so that's out. Can we do U in 5? And no, same problem. If you put U into 5, there's no way to fit R and W afterwards. Answer choice E, can we do M in 6? And maybe, because we said we could have done a WM block, so if we have W towards the end, we could do W5, M6, and that seems okay. Best answer to question number 20 is E. Next, question number 21. If S goes fifth, well, once again, let's see what we can do. If we have S going in 5, what does that tell us? Well, I guess we know that S has to be followed by one of T or U, but it's definitely not going to be U because U would have had to have a bunch of people after it. So it's going to have to be an ST block for sure. Which means if we have to have an ST block, then this guy right here is going to be a WM rather than a TM. So we're going to have a WM block now. And I guess that's going to have to follow the U, which is also going to precede R. So we get a nice kind of elastic band setup here. In fact, you'll notice that U is before everybody right now. So U is definitely going to have to go first. And then you're just going to have a bit of a little bit of flexibility. You can have an R/WM block shuffling between 2, 3, 4. So the question now asks, U has to go, well, I guess we have the answer. U would have to go first. Best answer to 21 is A. Next, looks like the rest of these are global, so I guess let's go in order. Question number 22. Which of the following cannot go third and fourth, respectively? Oof. Okay, let's see what we can do. Answer choice A, could we have M and T going in 3 and 4? Now, we haven't seen it yet, obviously. Would there be any issue? I guess if we did M and T in 3 and 4, I suppose the W would have to go right before. And then, oh, it also influences the S, because then you couldn't. You know what, let's run this one. This looks involved. Maybe there's something we can do with this. So once again, that was M and T in 3 and 4. Can we do MT in 3 and 4? So as we said, we can no longer have a TM block, so it's going to have to be a WM block. But then S, we can't have an ST block, so it's going to have to be an SU block, which can only really, oh, that's going to break. So we cannot do an SU block in 5 and 6, even though that's the only place it could have gone, because now U is supposed to go up before a bunch of other people. So this breaks, which makes it also the correct answer choice here. We know that MT, as a result, cannot go into positions 3 and 4, respectively. Best answer for 22 is A, which is convenient. Just in case, though, let's take a quick look at the other ones. Answer choice B, could we have had an R and S in 3 and 4? Well, if we did that, if we had R over here and S over here, I suppose it would have to be an ST block, since U would have to go before the R. You know what, again, let's run this, see what happens. If we do, once again, RS in 3 and 4, then we know that U has to go somewhere in 1 or 2, but that means that we can't have an SU block, so it would have to be an ST block over here. But I think that's still okay. We have to have a TM or a WM block, but we could have a TM block quite easily. And then you could do something like U and W in 1 and 2, which seems to work fine. So yeah, there is nothing wrong with that. Answer choice B would have been okay. Answer choice C, could you have done an SU block in 3 and 4? And again, unfortunately, we haven't seen it before, but if we did, actually, I think this one's more accessible. If we do an S over here and a U over there, then R and W would just follow R and W one way or the other. And then in 1 and 2, you could have a TM block, and that would have been okay. So that seems like it would have easily been possible. Answer choice D, could we have had a TR block in 3 and 4? And maybe if we did a T and an R over here, I guess that kind of, again, that gets involved with the S and the M. So you know what, let's run it. Let's quickly see what would have happened. If we run TR in 3 and 4, then we know that a TM block is now out of the question, so it would have to be a WM block, but that's okay. I think we can run a WM over here, for example, and then you could have an SU in 1 and 2 respectively. And I think we're good, right? Because as long as U is before R and W, which it is, nothing's broken, so D would have been fine. Answer choice E, could you have had a UW block in 3 and 4? Now this one seems a little safer. If we did a U over here with a W over here, I suppose, actually maybe that gets a bit involved. Let's run it as well, just in case. Yeah, let's try out what happens if we do U over here and W in 3 and 4. Now, I suppose after the U, we're still going to have an R somewhere over here. And we still have to have, well, actually, you know what, look, we can do a WM block just to get rid of the M. So we can do a WM over here, and an R goes over there. And then here we actually have flexibility because we could have done an SU block or we could even do STU, so that easily could have happened. So the best answer either way is answer choice A for question number 22. For the record, if you came across answer choice A and you tried it out and you could see that it wasn't working, right away you just pick that answer choice, right? You don't test the rest of these. This was mostly just to kind of show how they would work. Next, question number 23. Which of the following pairs of witnesses cannot go first and second? So same question really, but now we're dealing with positions numbers 1 and 2. Let's see what we can do. A, could we have S and U? Well, actually, this one we did. We've seen S and U in positions 1 and 2, so that easily could have happened. We can get rid of answer choice A. Answer choice B, can we have T and M in positions 1 and 2? Now, this one we haven't quite seen yet, but in this scenario, I mean, we've seen T in number 1. That certainly could have happened. And if we put M over here, that takes care of this, and the rest seems easy, right? We can have SU and then RW to follow. So I really don't see why that wouldn't have worked. That seems like it easily could have. Answer choice C, could we have T and S in the first 2 positions? Now, if we did, I suppose that would mean that, so for example, in this scenario, T goes here and then S goes here, and I guess S would have to be followed by U. And I think that's okay though, right? Because if we do that, then we just have to have an RWM, right? And that easily could have worked, so I don't see why not. Answer choice D, could we do a U and a T in positions 1 and 2? Now this we haven't seen yet, but could we, I guess in theory, do U and T? Oh no, of course not, because S has to be followed by one of U or T. So there's certainly no way to fit those guys into 1 and 2. That would never work for S. So the best answer to question number 23 is D. For the record, just in case, could we do a U and a W in 1 and 2? And yes, this one we've easily seen right there, so that would have disqualified that one.